Hello guys and welcome to the second instalment of The Conspiracy Theory. I am your host, the GOAT David Campbell, back again looking at all the rumours and speculation surrounding the world of professional wrestling and giving the most important opinion on the matter. That is right, my opinion, and we will be looking into that. But don't forget, we've got other exciting content over at Eat, Sleep, Suplex, Retweet, including our new flagship show every Thursday on that feed, which is Eat, Sleep, Suplex, Retweet Central. It's our new show. We'll be looking at all the current affairs of WWE and Impact, AEW, all these companies. We'll be running down what's happened, giving our opinion on a weekly basis. Don't forget also, the old content isn't going away in the form of ESSR features, which will be our traditional weekly shows where we're looking at topics coming up such as the state of the AEW women's division, the history of authority figures in wrestling, and on the horizon we even have a Bella Twins show coming up, something I'm very excited about, and I know that Sarah and Stacey over at the podcast are extremely excited about as well. Also check out YouTube channel. Here is where you found The Conspiracy Theory. Got another flagship show on here called Quiz Showdown. Don't forget to check that one out. And hopefully I will be competing on Quiz Showdown soon. Hopefully I get a win there. But to the action today, folks. The first thing I wanted to talk about is the beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar, and the news that according to PW Insider, and has been sort of confirmed by various sources at this point, Brock Lesnar's WWE contract has expired. Of course, the Beast came back at the start of the 2010s and has made a huge impact since then. He's had feuds with John Cena, Triple H, and most memorably, The Undertaker breaking his undefeated streak. He's had so many matches with Roman Reigns, some great matches with more smaller opponents like Finn Balor, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, all in this second run of Brock Lesnar in WWE. However, the time has come for his contract to expire. They could not reach an agreement in the negotiations with WWE. So now the speculation is floating about. What is the future of Brock Lesnar? Will Brock Lesnar perhaps go to another wrestling company? Will he be tempted by AEW? Perhaps a return to New Japan? That would be a controversial one, considering how his last run with that company ended. Is a return to the Ultimate Fighting Championship on the cards for Lesnar? I'm here to tell you that none of those things are going to happen, in my opinion. This seems to be a case of WWE has nothing for Brock Lesnar at the time being. They have nothing for him to do right now, and I don't think Brock Lesnar wants to do anything right now. Don't forget, we are still in the middle of a global pandemic. Brock Lesnar's a very private guy at the best of times. It seems that he did not want to come and perform in front of an empty performance centre or even trainees at the performance centre, and I don't think it's going to change with the Thunderdome coming into effect. I think Brock Lesnar knows the draw that he is. He knows he is a big money deal, and the company who, quite frankly, can offer him the most money right now is WWE. I do not think he'll be tempted by AEW to go there. He has a good relationship with Vince McMahon. It would mean building bridges with Tony Khan and people over there. Chris Jericho and him were famously in a fight backstage after the Randy Orton SummerSlam match, so it's not as if those two guys are going to be negotiating with each other behind the scenes. And with regards to UFC, I think Brock Lesnar at this point, while he would still be a draw for the UFC, he's too old at this point to be considered a serious threat or title contender for that company. I don't think he would risk his overall legacy in the UFC by going back there at this stage. And also, let's not forget that his last run with the UFC ended in some controversy. We had the drug scandal with regards to Lesnar that sort of tarnished his last comeback to UFC, and I think Dana White will still hold that in mind. So in my opinion, the Brock Lesnar situation is this. This is not him having left WWE for good. This is just Brock Lesnar leaving WWE for the time being, and when the time comes that WWE has something for Brock, they will bring him back. Because don't forget, Paul Heyman's still with the company. Paul Heyman's still under contract and has just been paired with Roman Reigns, so perhaps something down the line with those two, we'll see their paths cross again. But that's a theory I have to debunk. Brock Lesnar is not going all in with AEW. He will not be going back to the UFC. he will return to WWE eventually. It's just a matter of when at this point and when they can get the money on the table to align with what Brock wants. So the next thing I wanted to discuss today was Retribution. It's the group that's taken WWE by storm at this point. I say storm, perhaps a whimper for some people out there. They've been causing a ruckus at both Raw and SmackDown, attacking people left, right, and centre, destroying production areas, etc., etc., etc. And one of the main questions a lot of people have had on their mind is, who is a member of Retribution? Who are the men and women behind the masks at this point? And Ringside News is reporting that Retribution is actually changing their members week on week on week. There's no sort of consistency there. It was reported at one point the members consisted of Mia Yim, Caden Carter, Chelsea Green, Dominic Dijakovic, Shane Thorne, and former Raw announcer Dio Madden. However, go to the current state of affairs, it would seem that Mercedes Martinez was speculated to be one of the women behind the mask. Some of the members have dropped out who were previously associated with the group. So there's a lot of questions as to what is the nature of Retribution and who will be revealed as a member of this group in due course. And I'm here to say just a couple of things about who I think it will be. I agree with Ringside News in their take that this is being booked week in, week out. And something has to change with it because it can't just continue the way it's going, because it's already proven to be a bit boring and nonsensical at this point, not have as much impact as WWE wants. For that reason, I believe they need a big name to head up Retribution, and there's been speculation on who that big name will be. I do not think it will be Roman Reigns. I think the wreck everything and leave is going to be his mantra going forward, but I don't think it's a direct link between him and Retribution, which a lot of people have made it out to be. In my opinion, the ruler, the leader of Retribution, will end up being Tommaso Ciampa himself from NXT. And while we haven't seen Ciampa so far as a member of Retribution, perhaps, I think he'll be revealed to be the man pulling the strings, because what they need with Retribution is a mouthpiece. They need a centre point of that group. And Dominic Dijakovic is great. We've seen Dio Madden to be great. We've seen Mia Yim to be great. But none of them are stars as of yet. Tommaso Ciampa has proven in his time in NXT to be a star, and we've seen he's injury prone as well. Let's not forget about that. Let's not dismiss that fact about Tommaso Ciampa. So leading a big stable like Retribution would allow him to cut his ring time, in that he could send his minions to do the dirty work. If a babyface is coming up against Retribution, they don't face Ciampa straight away. They have to go through Madden, they have to go through Thorne, they have to go through all these other members. So I'm putting myself in a limb here and putting this conspiracy theory out there that I think Tommaso Ciampa will be revealed as the mastermind behind Retribution when all is said and done. But getting to our last story of the day, it regards CFO $, who used to do the music for WWE. They've done it for years, since way back in 2013. However, that relationship has currently dissolved. CFO $, are no longer associated with WWE, and according to Fightful Select, WWE are urging their talents to ditch this music and any themes that were made by CFO $, if they can. This reared its ugly head recently with the uproar about Keith Lee's music being changed for his Raw debut. And the question is out there right now, will everyone with CFO $, music in WWE be forced to change it to something else, be forced to change it to another theme? And I'm here to tell you that there's no chance that that's happening, in my opinion. And if it does happen, it would be a very stupid move on WWE's part. Big part of wrestler presentation is their entrance music. Is iconic, and if you look at some of the big names with CFO $ music right now in WWE, you have Charlotte, you have Becky when she returns, Sami Zayn, Alexa Bliss, Kevin Owens, Sheamus, Finn Balor, Asuka, Shinsuke Nakamura, the list goes on and on. There is no chance that WWE is going to replace all of those songs, because for one, they're far too popular to do it. You look at the impact that Shinsuke Nakamura's music had in his character. You look at how much Bobby Roode's gimmick was elevated by the Glorious theme. It's not something that they're going to do. The reason that it was different with Keith Lee is that Keith Lee was new to the main roster. Keith Lee was getting this push against Randy Orton. he's not going to say no. He's not in a position to say no. But someone like Charlotte Flair, who has been with the company for many years and has an element of influence and control over her own characterization, she's not going to get rid of recognition because people associate that music with Charlotte Flair, and that goes for many of the other big stars that are currently on the roster of WWE. So I wouldn't be too afraid. We could see some minor theme changes here and there. Obviously, Bayley and Seth Rollins got rid of their old themes when it came to their gimmick changes. But by and large, I don't think that CFO Dollar Sign's music will completely become extinct in WWE. But what do you think, guys? What do you think? Will we see the end of the CFO Dollar Sign era for good? Will it all be null and void by the time we get to this time next year? What do you think about Brock Lesnar? Could we see him come up in another company? Who do you think will end up being a member of Retribution when all is said and done? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Suplex Retweet. And don't forget to tune in next month where we look at some more conspiracy theories here on the ESSR YouTube channel. So until then, I'll see you guys later on.